guys, this is it. WSOP, first time ever. Super excited. Can't wait to get in there. Got the 1500 tournament going today, 11 o'clock a.m. And I'm super stoked, man. I've never played a WSOP event before. Let's get in there. Let's make some hands. Let's run it up. Let's make all the money. We're freaking here. All right, I gotta find the table that I'm gonna play at. Pretty good. I'm on break, first break. I have 11,475 from a starting stack of 7,500. Only one real notable hand, a bunch of small pots. The table's playing pretty tight, pretty, you know, ABC poker. It's early on. I have 10-9 of hearts in the mid position. There's a player under the gun limps. I call, and the small blind makes it 500. The blinds are 50, 100 at this point. Everyone folds and it's on me, and I make the call 500 on my suited connector. The flop comes, amazing. Ace, 6, 7, all hearts. I flop a flush. He checks. I figure it's safe to check here as I got a pretty strong hand at this point and I probably want him to catch up. The turn comes and it's a 9 of diamonds and he bets out 600. This could be a bluff, or this could be that he has an ace and he was kind of just pot controlling and seeing what the turn brought. So I make a raise to 1500 and he thinks about it for a little bit and calls. The river comes and it's a 2 of diamonds. He checks. I throw out a quick bet of 2,025 and he insta calls, I show, and he mucks. So we take down a decent pot there. So right now, like I said, I have 11,475. Not a bad start. Blinds are low, 60-minute levels. Right now we're gonna go to 75, 150. I got the Rio back here. I'm in the Rio, but the Rio is huge. Got to pick up some food at some point because I'm starving, and I don't know if there's any good places around here since I've never really played at the Rio, but we shall see. So I'm on the second break. As you can tell by my smile, it's going magnificent. Second break, we're gonna go to 150, 300 blinds, 25 ante, maybe 50 ante, and I have 43,000 in chips. I've got to be towards the top of the leaderboard. I checked the Poker News app and the WSOP app, and I see some people with the 20,000 in chips, 25,000. I haven't even seen anybody above 30. Obviously, with this many players, there's over 1,500 players. Definitely there could be somebody with more chips, but I think I'm pretty up there and I'm really excited about that. Quick recap, just to go over a couple of the main hands. I'm not gonna go into great detail, but I had a hand where a player raised to 450. I called, Three other people called. Flop was king 8-3, two hearts. I had ace king, top pair, top kicker, and the original pre-flop better made it 1650. I raised him to 4500, I believe, and he shoved all in. And I thought about it for a while, and I thought if he had a set, he would probably just call and try to get me to get it in on the turn. He could have had a flush draw, but I made the call, and he had king queen, and it ran out brick, and that hand was I was all in for 13 or 14,000, so that was a pretty good double up there that put me close to 30,000. Then I had a couple other hands. I got quads, and I got a short stack to go all in, and then I also had a short stack go all in for like 4,000 with jack 4 clubs, and I had kings. So it's going really well. I hope to eventually do like an actual hand analysis of this tournament at a future date when I get back to Miami, but everything's going really good, and let's keep running good. So the day's been going good. Day one's coming along. You know, we're getting deeper into day one, which is exciting, and at this point in the tournament, I pick up a hand with the blinds at 250, 500, and ante 50. First off, the player under the gun +1 shoves his short stack for 3,300 and folds around to me in the cutoff. I look down and I have a pretty strong hand in ace queen of hearts. So I weigh my options, and I could definitely isolate and raise here, but based on his bet being pretty high compared to the blinds of 6 times, more than 6 times the big blind, I decided to just call, thinking not many players would call, and if anybody does raise, I would reassess. So it folds around to the big blind, and he ends up putting a raise. Now he ends up making it 12,200. My stack at this point is 48k, and the player who raised 12,200 has 20k behind. So this is an interesting spot here. I have to really think, is he trying to steal, you know, the money that has been bet at this point, or is he have a strong hand where he basically is happy to take down what's in the middle at this point and just isolate the under the gun +1 who bet 3,300. I start to really go deep in the tank and think, well, I'd be flipping with anybody that has any pair. I'm losing to ace king. Obviously, like I said, to any pair, aces, kings, queens pretty much have me crushed at this point. And he does have 20k behind. So calling to see a flop, maybe, but at this point, I don't want to lose my stack. I worked it to get it pretty high. There's going to be better spots. I don't have much information on the player, but he hasn't played many hands. At the end of the day, I just decide to fold the hand and look for a better spot. And luckily, I made a good fold because he showed pocket aces. The under the gun +1 ended up having pocket 5, so I definitely would have been fine going heads up with a player like that. This point in the tournament, the blinds are 300, 600 with a $50 ante. In this next hand, I got the hooks. I got pocket jacks in late position. I come in for a raise of 3 times a big blind, 1,800. Jacks is a strong hand. I don't want people to see the flop really. I'm hopping down, taking the blinds and antes. So I make it 3 times, as usually my standard bet will be 2.5x. Raise when I raise in these situations, but I decided to make it 3 times in this particular instance. The button ends up 3-betting me to 5,300. Now I started this handoff of 51,000, and the button has an additional 24,000 after his bet of 5,300. So seeing that he's on the button and this looks like a steal play, there's really 2 options. I can just shove and set them all in and be pretty happy with my pair of jacks, or I can just smooth call and see what develops, because if he does happen to have a hand, I can lose more than half my stack. And at this point, I've gotten pretty late in day one, and I think it's a safer play just to to call the 3-bet and see what the flop brings. So that's what I ended up doing, and we go heads up to a flop. The flop is pretty good flop for my hand, 10-7-7, 2 diamonds. I decide to check, and he also checks. In my opinion, this type of check by him reveals the strength of his hand. If he had any pair, an ace king, this is a type of flop you would definitely continuation bet. The fact that he didn't c-bet this flop pretty much tells me that we're ahead. The turn comes and it's a 5 offsuit. Doesn't bring a diamond, safe card. I decide to switch it up. Normally I would just do kind of a half pot bet here and see what happens, but I decide to overbet the pot and bet more than pot size, 14k, making it look like a bluff, or also making it seem like I may have nothing and I'm trying to steal it, which may induce an ace-king type hand to call, maybe. So once I make this bet of 14,000, he goes deep into the tank, so I'm 99.9% sure I'm good. He thinks for a very long time. At this point, I'm like, he's gonna fold, you know, he's ready to fold. He has his cards, he's about to muck them to the dealer. He's ready to get rid of them. And then he says, I'm all in. It's only 10k more to me. I snap call, and I see one of the best hands that I can see, considering, you know, the draw that's out there. He shows ace jack. So literally he only has 3 outs on the river that he can get to beat me. I'm loving this spot. I'm loving how this hand worked out. Let's pray for the river. The river comes and it's a 9. So we scoop the pot. We get up over 80,000 late in day 1. Things are going well. Super pumped. First WSOP event. Let's get it. Alright guys, last break of the night. It's so tired. The blinds are gonna be 400, 800, 2 more levels. Average chip stack is 32k, and I got about 75k. There's 405 players left. 265 get first. 265 265 players get paid, and first place is a whopping 395,000. That's what we're aiming for. Let's get that money. So day 1 we end, 269 players left out of 1,783, 265 get paid. On to day 2, chip stack, 74,500, 58th in chips, cannot complain. A very fruitful day 1, and most importantly, we're 4 away from the money bubble. That's right. Looking to get that cash in that first WSOP event. Super excited, and you know, should bust the money bubble in the first couple minutes actually of day 2. So look out for that vlog that's coming out. Day 2 of my WSOP event 1500, event 58. Remember to, you know the drill, subscribe and like, subscribe and like, subscribe and like. And be on the lookout again for that vlog, day 2. Let's see if we can run up a stack. Peace out.